It's okay.
Stream is live.
Stream is live.
We are doing it.
We're doing it. So, guys, I'm Tiffany, and Celeste has joined me today, my buddy, my Astro buddy, because I'm practicing StreamYard, and we're going to talk about astrology, so it's not totally boring to you guys, this practice round. So thank you, Celeste, for joining me from California. I'm trying to toggle over and see how to make our Instagram live too. So would you introduce yourself while I'm playing that?
Yes. Yeah. So hi, everyone. This is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste. I'm an astrologer, coach, and a teacher, and excited to help Tiffany today figure out how to do StreamYard. She's such a Virgo midheaven. So Tiffany has her midheaven in Virgo. And since it's her first time, and I offered to walk her through it, but she has figured it out already. It's teaching me things about StreamYard. I love Virgo energy. And yeah, I love it. Having that ability to get into the details and just figure it out. My South Node is in Virgo. Yeah. We're going to talk about some astrology today. What is going on today in the sky? Let me look.
What is going on? Let's look at our calendar.
What I've been looking at, I've been really interested in is the Venus. Because, okay, so on January 1st, Mercury, the planet of communication, commerce, and transportation, is going direct. Yay! At 22 degrees of Sagittarius on the fixed star Ras Al Hug, which is really interesting to me. It's the snake charmer, the head of the snake charmer. And at the same time, Venus, the same day, Venus is in Sagittarius and it's in a square to Saturn in Pisces, both at 3 degrees. So I've been like looking to see how is this transit going to show up. Really fascinated about how this transit was going to show up in the collective. And we know part of the story already. It's about Jeffrey Epstein and a list of all of the people he was associated with. A judge has ordered them to be released. So Mercury retrograde, we're getting this information from the past, the secret revealed about Sagittarius topic, how he would fly people to his private island and for all kinds of debauchery, including abusing young girls.
Right. It's like, don't smile about this topic, but it's the reason I'm smiling is because it's like astrology is so fascinating, right? But yes, it's everything. Keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just realized I'm smiling during a
no, I'm always smiling. For some reason, I came out of the womb with a smile on my face.
Oh,
stop. Anyway, it's a horrible what all these young girls went through. But anyway, the astrology of it. So his associates, Venus rules allies, Venus rules parties, and all of this kind of stuff. Square Saturn is karma and consequences. So we'll see how big of a bomb goes off this week once the names are released. But yeah, I've been really watching this Venus Saturn, watching how it comes up in my own life and in the collective. And I wrote down a bunch of things. Can I read them?
Oh, please do. Yeah. While you're doing that, where do I find if anybody has made a comment? Oh, I see it now.
Okay, so over on the side, there's private chat, and then the left, there's comments. Oh, okay. Kay Michelle. Hi, Kay Michelle. Hi, Marilyn. Marilyn. Oh, yay. Yeah.
Yay. Hi, okay.
And okay.
So we're good. We're seeing the ladies on Facebook and YouTube. And I think, guys, I just can't figure out the Instagram. I don't know what to do.
That's okay.
So
let me answer Marilyn's question.
Please.
Okay. Yeah, so Marilyn asked, what transit am I talking about? And she is a Sagittarius rising. So yes, Marilyn, this is a really good time for you to take an inventory about what showed up for you during this Venus retrograde. So if you're looking at your, not Venus, excuse me.
Mercury
retrograde. Okay. This morning I had a Mercury retrograde where I made a pot of coffee and forgot to put the coffee in the coffee. Yeah, brain
Nice.
scramble with the Mercury retrograde. Oh, the Sag Sun. And Marilyn's like, hello, I said Sag Sun, not Sag Rising. Sag Sun. What degree is your sun, Marilyn? Let me get myself together before I answer the question. What degree is your sun? Yeah, so all Sages, whether you're a Sag moon, a Sag rising, or a Sag sun, really think about what has gone on the last couple of weeks for you. It's okay, Marilyn, don't worry about it.
I can look at hers up.
Because Mercury went retrograde at 8 degrees of Capricorn, and it went backwards to 22 degrees of Sag, where it is going direct on Monday. So that area of your chart from 22 Sag to 8 Capricorn has gotten like the zoom of Mercury. So what has been brought to light to you about, your thought processes, about what has been brought up from your psyche that for you to deal with regarding Mercury going direct? And what house is it in?
Did you ask for her sun or her rising?
Well, she asked the question, what is her sun degree? Yes.
Okay, so she's 26 Sag.
Okay. So what happened last week was Mercury retrograde met Mars at 24 degrees of Sag, so right next to your sun. Mercury retrograde conjunct Mars. So what did you notice? Any like real feelings of frustration, mental anxiety, anger, like drive, energy, passion, like thinking about an old lover nonstop, missing the sex, marital sex, things like that. Yeah. What came up like last week? It was the day of Christmas. Did you have any like little accidents where you poked yourself with a sharp object? These are things that could have come up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. So yeah. And so on Monday, Venus at 3 degrees of Sagittarius is squaring Saturn at 3 degrees of Pisces. So if that's hitting your chart, there may be a story, but you may just see things come up in the collective or in your own life. And I wrote about can I read my list?
Yeah. Let's get your list. Thanks.
I give you more than I'm not going on this. And then I'm just going nonstop. Okay. Yeah. So Venus squares Saturn. These are some things that have been coming to me because I've been watching to see this transit and what is going to show up.
Yeah.
Unwanted visitors. This love can't be true. Boring party. Quitting drinking. Rejecting a gift. Thanks, but no thanks. The dark side of beauty. Conditional love. Protect your brand. Social obligation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. The end of love. Those are my lists. That's my list. So.
Wow. Those, what do you think is the most positive thing on that list? Quitting drinking.
Quitting drinking, which I'm doing. I'm doing a cleanse for starting tomorrow. I think I'm going to start tomorrow.
Okay.
Where, because Venus rules things like pleasure and the things you do for fun and all of that kind of stuff. But, Venus rules sugar, and sugar has a downside to it. Yeah, it could be like quitting sugar. Could be another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my last one.
Protecting your brand is a good one.
I know. I really heard that. I was like, ooh, I've been going through a really uncomfortable rebrand for a while. And it's like, ooh, that's a good one, to protect, not even if you're not in business for yourself, right? You have your own identity, your own brand, your own rising sign, your own midheaven, like how you shine out in the world, right? So, I've had some of those moments too, even this morning with some pretty uncomfortable emails going around. So that's very Mercury retrograde too. Like, watch out, the things that you might not normally say are coming out too at the end of this little cycle, I believe. Yeah. So Mercury, we talked about it being going through Sag. I know that Nadine commented that she has a sun in Sag, and she is at 6 degrees. Her sun is at 6 degrees in the 6th house. I just happen to know these because they're my clients. So, and I know that they appreciate us me pulling that up.
So
Yeah.
Venus is coming to her sun. I love that. In the 6th
Yeah.
house, that I would think of be about. Is there something that you want to kind of limit a bit with, like a health? For her, I would think a health thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you so a lot of times I'll get the question about around Mercury retrograde, like, oh, I was born with Mercury retrograde, so I like it, or it doesn't affect me, or whatever. I was born with Mercury retrograde, and I find that it does affect me depending on the house is where I really notice it more. So for me, I have Sag rising, right? And one of the first tricks I played during this Mercury retrograde cycle, when the sun moved backwards, from Capricorn into Sagittarius, the sign of travel, in my first house, I left my passport at the grocery store. And a lot of you guys know I'm taking ladies on a retreat to Mexico in February. And you can't get a new passport right now. Like, it's a million, it takes forever. So that was kind of one of my Mercury retrograde. I call it tricks because I think it's just funny. Fortunately, some wonderful human at the grocery store opened my bag and found who I was and found me on Facebook and sent me this message. And it was, it was like my daughter's birthday. I was not in the mood to go back to the store. But those, because it's in Sag and travel in my first house, my personal travel documents that I just haphazardly left around, that was one of I guess the bigger ones that I experienced. But my question I meandered off from was I have Mercury retrograde natally. Mercury was retrograde when I was born. How do you see that kind of playing out with your people and your clients?
Yeah, I have Mercury retrograde in my chart natally, but I have 2 planets in Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini, and I have my South Node and Pluto in Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo. So I feel these Mercury retrogrades. Yeah, I don't think they're necessarily easy for me. Like, I've never had a car like completely break down or blah, 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 but I have all the problems everyone else has.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about Mercury retrograde, it always brings, for me, like little things that need correction or improvement in my life. Sometimes even mistakes, like a link on my website for whatever reason not working. So I do like how it brings these things to your attention and I love the permission and the instruction to slow down.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, me too. I am really taking that invite to slow down too. So Kay Michelle is asking us if we have had Mercury turn direct in our progressed charts.
Yes, when I was a kid though.
Okay. And then Barbie is asking, she's just letting us know that she's got her sidereal sun at 29 Sag and her tropical sun at 22 Capricorn. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't do sidereal, so I
was
looking at 22 Capricorn. So what I would say to Barbie would be there is going to be a new moon at 20 Capricorn on
January
12th, 11th. At 20 Capricorn. So this, I want you to really think about what do you want to bring to life in this coming year, because there's a lot of new moons around 20 degrees. So it's going to activate your chart in different ways. But what do you like? I want you to really use that new moon to set intentions. You can come to my new moon workshop if you want. Yeah.
Tell them how. How do they do that?
Yeah, you go to astrologybyceleste.com and sign up for the new moon workshop. It's going to be on January 7th. And what we do is we talk all about the astrology of it and then what it means for you. And I do hot takes on people's natal charts. So you go to astrologybyceleste.com. You can get 1, 4, or the whole year of the new moon workshops at my website.
That's
Yeah.
great. You know, the
Yeah.
new moon, now that you bring that up, right, it tracks. So Celeste, if you follow Celeste or my channels, you'll see that we're talking about the moon cycle over a broader moon family cycle. And this particular new moon that Celeste brought up on January 11th, because it's so close to Barbie's natal sun, it'll be really impactful for her. But this new moon cycle plays out. The key dates are January 11th, October 10th of 2024, when there's a first quarter moon in Capricorn, July 10th of 2025, when there's a full moon in 18 Capricorn, and then in April 10th of 2026, when there's a last quarter moon. And the Sabian symbol for 20 Cap is a relay race. And I actually like this as our first new moon of the year, because it's like whatever's in the past is past. We left, we got the baton, we're going forward, look ahead. Now, you can interpret the Sabian symbols any way you want. There's not like a set way of looking at them. I encourage people to sketch or draw them out in their journals. But the idea here is that this is a relay race, and we need to go forward, and we need to consider what baton we're handing forward, the future generation. I have another rant I could go on about, which I might bring up shortly because I think you might like it. However, the reason that I was looking at these dates, or the reason I can find them so quickly, is because we're using the digital astrology calendar. So Celeste and I agreed that this would be a good time to also bring up her code, which I didn't pull up before we get started. Do you know it?
ABC 2024.
Okay, if you use ABC 2024 in my shop tab at tiffanyharlick.com, you can get the calendar at a discounted price. And this digital calendar, Celeste, because we're practicing StreamYard, can I share my screen and show them?
Yes.
Okay, should I do present?
Yes, so what you do is present.
Okay. Present, slides, extra camera, video, share screen. Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, I'm nervous.
Well, check your screen. Make sure that you close anything that's private that you don't want.
Yeah, I'm just, okay, look, I'm going to just share this. So you guys can see that what I did was I clicked on Celeste identified January 11th as a new moon, and I ran over to my calendar, which you can see I have lots of plans to do yoga.
And I see that. And I just want to say, this is the Virgo again. Tiffany has this amazing digital astrology calendar that I am partner with her every year to be, like an affiliate to promote it, because it's so incredible. And she works and makes it better every single year. And it's really such an incredible tool to help you stay present with the astrology, by just having all the transits at the touch of your hand, as well as the moon phases. This is what I love so much, what she's done with the moon phases. Aww. With this.
Thank you so much. Yeah, well, you inspire me. The way that you teach the moon phases is very inspiring, and it's so real, and it's not standard pop astrology. So to me, this is a real honest look at the moon phases, the moon cycles as this family. So we could all just hang out here and be like, yeah, there's a new moon on 111. Yay, magic numerology. Or we could take it a step further, look at the degree, look at the house where 20 degrees of Capricorn is igniting in your personal chart, and then track it over time in your journal. So we happen to be looking at this particular new moon date. But what if we had, a first quarter moon? Well, let's say we had a last quarter moon we were looking at. Well, that's kind of interesting because you can go back in time and see what those other dates were doing, how they were important, if they were impactful. I mentioned that I was taking some people to Tulum for a retreat. And one of the things in their goodie bags ahead of time is an astrological scavenger hunt, a date scavenger hunt. And so I went through their progressions and marked down some interesting dates when their sun, their moon, their Mercury, their Mars, their Venus changed signs over the years. And just to test it out, I texted a couple of them to say, hey, does this
the progressed sun, moon, Mercury, you mean?
Yeah, they're progressions.
Oh,
And
okay.
so when those planetary bodies changed signs, I marked the day. And I made a list of those that I will give them for an astrological scavenger hunt. And for them to go like look ahead before we get to the trip to say, oh yeah, this date made sense, or no, it doesn't make sense at all. But the people that I texted just to test the waters, they were like, oh my God, like it made so much sense, you know? And so my point in that is sometimes you'll see in the calendar the dates that you can reflect on and look back in time. And sometimes it makes a lot of sense. So maybe by April 10th of 2026, our example is Barbie today because her sun is in 22 Capricorn. So maybe over the course of the next couple of years, something's starting now, something's brewing, something's about to unfold. She's got an idea for it, but it's still kind of subconscious. It's not fully out there yet, but it's coming up, you know? And so then by October of this coming year, she's going to be ready to take action and kind of put her put your money where your mouth is type of a thing, doing something really gets like stimulated and really starts to take off. So we think about the new moon energy as like the beginning, and it feels like it should be go time, but really it might make more sense for go time to be in the fall of this year. Of course, the full moon is a time when more is revealed. We have more light, we can see more, so we know what to pivot. And then the last quarter moon, of course, when the bill comes due and we're finding that we're feeling more complete assimilation, integration, things like this. So I just wanted to, I'm not going to keep sharing.
Wait,
Yeah, go ahead.
Bring it back up because I wanted to talk about it too.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these are called the moon phase families. And
Yeah.
so there may be because your chart is being activated by the moon in the same place over this 27 months. So there may be, like Tiffany is saying, a pivot points, but you want to give it a glow, like give it 2 weeks before or after when you're looking at the events. So,
oops.
And sometimes they're internal. Sometimes you can't find the story, but sometimes it'll be like an exact story. I had a client who the moon was activating her Jupiter in her 12th house, and she literally moved a long distance every single one, like within a couple days of the dates over that 2.5 years. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Jupiter send you on a long journey, and like the 12th house, like ending something to go off on a long journey. It had to do with her and her husband's jobs or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about with these, but these could be really great to track your project progress, or especially for Barbie. Okay, Jan, the new moon, think about where do you want to be in October, Barbie. Like definitely have some long range goal that you want to like connect with your progress in October, and then in July of 2025, and like, yeah, using it, they're really powerful. I also wanted to say a relay race makes me think of the 3 of Pentacles. What are you building? What are your tools, and who are you collaborating with in order to make this action, this dream, this part of your whatever your life come to fruition? I feel like with the relay race, you don't do it alone. You pass the baton to people.
You pass the baton to people. Your club organizations change over. You have new administration. You have a new legacy. I like the 3 of Pentacles because I started working. I told you privately that I got this huge download about a new format to do my readings, and a book and a retreat, and like all of the things. Like this format, this template works with the medicine wheel, but it also works with astrology. I mean, it's mainly astrology. And it just started pouring out of me, right? So yeah, Mercury retrograde, I'm using old ideas, but also looking forward to this new moon and what is going to come of it. You know, it's not ready to launch. It's not ready to announce. I'm still in the quiet, dark skies of things brewing. But I like that you brought up the 3 of Pentacles, because I think I'm somebody that never really thought I would have a masterpiece. You know, I have a lot of projects. I have a lot of creative efforts. I have a lot of interesting things I've been involved in, but I never really thought of myself as having a masterpiece. And this week I do, this week I do. So
that's your Mars square Neptune.
yeah.
You're putting your energy into your masterpiece. I feel like Neptune, that big dream, that big, yeah.
Yeah. Let me pull that up.
Love that. And also that's Venus square Saturn. Like that creative thing is your legacy. It's your masterpiece. Is your card that, yeah, I love that. As a Sag rising, that makes total sense. Yeah.
Right. My rising is in 4 Sag. And so this
Venus,
whole
ooh,
go ahead.
Really pay attention. See, Saturn is squaring your rising.
Yeah, I'm looking down
and your descendant. So the descendant is like the clients, the people you serve. So you're coming together with this Saturnian, Saturn and Pisces, bringing this metaphysical language into reality in your own way, leaving your own legacy.
Yeah,
it's coming from your root. It's coming from your root, isn't it? In your 3rd or 4th house.
Well, Saturn's transiting. Yeah, it's transiting my 3rd house. Yeah.
Of the mind.
Yeah, and the written word. And I'm having a Mars return too. So
I love that. I love that. And it's brilliant when you were sharing with me.
Oh, thank you. Well, there's even more. So when we get off the live StreamYard practice, I'll tell you what the next piece was so you can have the secret info.
Okay. Happy birthday, Iris.
Oh.
So yesterday was Iris's 60th birthday.
Oh.
And so with perfections, astrology perfections, it's really simple technique where each year your different houses in focus, and this works for everyone. And 60 is the first house. It's also likely around a Jupiter return for you. You may have already had it. So 60 is a really great year to think about first house topics, the identity, how you present yourself in the world, the physical body vitality. Yeah. What your soul is rising to, and like a new year, new you. I want you to think about that, Iris.
Yeah, happy birthday.
How are you? Get ready for your coming out party. I feel like is something for Iris. Like you're coming out with some new thing. What is Iris? What's your rising sign? Oh, and Marilyn is just cleaning. Mars conjunct Mercury at home. Yeah, Mars.
Oh, yeah. She's saying she gets the calendar every year. Let me click around on it for you guys.
Show a transit.
Let me try to get out of look, there's a full moon just for the same example. So now this particular full moon, where am I? Okay, here's a transit. Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius, February 22nd, 222. So we went from 111 to 222. So Venus, the planet of love and our core values and our where we like to relax and have our femininity and our luxury and the part of us that is here to really be the inner Aphrodite, the inner deity. This planet is right next to Mars in the sky. Mars being pretty opposite. Mars shows us our drive, our focus, our determination, our pointed focus. It's where we have energy. It's where we have blood flow. And so Venus next to Mars can be really spicy. It can be really sensual. It can be really smoking hot. There's a spectrum of ways that can play out. So it's in Aquarius, which happens to be a freaky sign. So I'm really glad that I pulled this one up, Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius. And you can see here, right, that usually you can see my take is usually pretty optimistic and positive. And I'm looking at it from the perspective, just from the lens of what's the best possible case? What's the evolutionary potential of this little one? So all of us will be under that. Here's one, Mercury's entering Pisces. So you also get to learn Mercury, the glyph, enters Pisces, the glyph. You also get to learn astrology all year long. So there's a little bit of education going on with each of the spots that you can click on. So Mercury moves into Pisces. It tells you it's going to be there February 23rd to March 10th. So you know that you have that to work with for about a month, right? And then I even like go into a little pro tip to ask for clarity through emotions, Pisces, and I have some suggested reading there for you. Let me show you, like, when the moon changes signs. I really kind of geeked out. I really Virgo midheavened all of the moon ingresses, the lunar ingresses. So I give you the general vibe. If you're just like, what's the moon in Leo like? It's feisty, it's flirty, right? But then there's a personal check-in. So if you want to journal, where can I lighten up and live a little? What sounds like fun to me, right? If you want to activate some crystals, here are some for some ideas. I went into herbs and spices. So if you want to practice cooking by the moon, these are some ideas. Now, you also need to consider opposite and complementary medicine, right? So if you're already hot and spicy and you're already a fire person and you have a lot of fire in you, you might want the opposite herbs to cool you down. In terms of diet and medical astrology, we think about the moon in Leo. We think about Leo ruling the heart, which is powered also by the sun. So you want to think about solar type diets and oppositely cooling type diets if you need it. So always working with opposite and complementary medicine. I've got some garden tips and a little astrology lesson and a little mantra. That comes every single time the moon changes signs. And before the moon changes signs, it goes void, of course. And so this is probably the one that I use the most on the calendar. I just double check and make sure I'm not doing something like really important when the moon is void, of course, or I don't want to overbook myself or schedule too much, or it's fine if I'm going on like if I'm driving or whatever, I can be doing, like a long audiobook or something. But I tend to find that the energy is a little bit nebulous and distorted. Maybe I'm a little bit more tired. Maybe things aren't quite as clear. And so for me, just looking at that, if you're going to ask me if I want to meet at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., I'm going to pick 8 a.m., right? That's just one way that I use it. So yeah. So again, ABC 2024 will get you a $10 off code. And Nadine says she's buying it today. Awesome. And
it's an amazing calendar. You should be so proud of it. You know what? We still see Nadine's comment. Is there something you can touch it to make it go away?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's practice that. Yeah. Nadine's a Sag for our whole show today.
I think there should be a way to make it go away.
I think it's because I've clicked on it. So
yeah.
Like I could click on that.
Oh, I can do it too. Okay. You can click to make the comments. I need to do more of this on YouTube.
Seriously, because we could share charts pretty easily. Like that, what an easy way to just do that and not, because what I currently do is I'll record in Zoom and then I'll upload in Zoom and it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, Jennifer's asking about the difference between Western and Vedic astrology. Western is time-based. So when the sun enters Aries, we start the astrology year. Vedic is, and I hope I'm saying this right, but it's constellation based. So based on the sky as it is now. So they're different. They both work, but they're different.
They both work really beautifully too. Like I encourage you, if you're into Western astrology, which we practice, go get a Vedic reading sometime. Like just test it out. See it, it's really fun. It's how I describe it too. It's like the same thing, but in different languages is very poetic. So, you could do my chart reading in Italian, you could do my chart reading in Mandarin, and it's just going to feel a little different. It's going to be spoken differently. Different zodiac signs may be used, but you're still going to get some good and accurate information. I remember the first time I had a Vedic reading, I freaked out and I called my astrology buddy that I've been taking classes with for 24 years now. And I was like, man, this is so accurate. I can't go study all that. And she was like, Tiffany, it's okay. You have permission to practice Western astrology and think that Vedic is also accurate. It is for me, but it's your experiment too. It's your experiment too. So play around with it.
Can you highlight Marilyn's comment there?
This one?
Yeah. So Marilyn, that's great. Thank you. If you subscribe to Tiffany's channel and my channel and hit the notification button, you'll be notified when we go live or new stuff is posted. Thank you, Marilyn, for sharing.
Thank you, Marilyn. Yeah.
I'll try taking away that comment.
Okay. Practice.
Ooh, we got to do this more often. Yeah.
I love it.
More often. I love this. I just want to figure out how to stream it to Instagram. Maybe I'll do some looking into that.
I know. It says once you're live, your stream is public. You'll find it at the top of your feed on Instagram. And when I go so anybody watching, do you guys know how to do this? I've paid for the version that allows for it. How do you normally go live in Instagram? Like when I normally go live, it's like me again. It's not in StreamYard. So I don't want to do that.
Some investigation on that because you're on your computer now.
I'm on my computer, so I was toggling over to my Instagram page, and there's no way to go live there that I'm seeing. I'm sure it's user error.
Yeah. You can definitely go live on your YouTube and your Facebook page at the same time.
Yeah. Well, that's what's happening. That's what I needed to understand. So one of the reasons we're doing this little practice round is that one of my teachers, Lisa Williams, is coming live with me on January 3rd at 4:00 to talk about healing. And so this will be the same thing. I'll either figure out Instagram or remove it as an option. But yeah, we're going to be talking about healing, and the topic, like the amount of questions are endless. And so everybody, knows somebody that needs healing. And if you ever had a question about any type of healing work at all, Lisa's a great person to ask. So I just wanted to invite you guys back on January 3rd at 4 Central. And we'll be talking about healing, and so back to astrology I think that we've probably got our practice round in. Does anybody watching have any little questions for us? I want to honor Celeste's time practicing. Iris says, I'm loving that tomorrow is 123123 for numerology. 12/31/2023. Yes, that's so cool. And thank you, Marilyn. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. One of my personal goals is to increase my YouTube watch hours next year and subscribers. So I really appreciate you saying that, Marilyn. Thank you, Jennifer and Nadine. All right. Anything else coming to mind, Celeste, for you?
Yeah, I really feel like, okay, so Mercury goes direct on the 1st, as well as that Venus square Saturn. So really pay attention to what your thought processes are and think about the planets and their symbology and how it comes to life in your life. And it may just be in your thought processes. But Mars enters Capricorn, the sign of its exaltation on Thursday. And I feel like that's when the year is like getting going. And we have all this forward momentum at the beginning of the year. All the planets are direct except Uranus, because Jupiter is stationing to go direct today. Yeah, that's right. So get ready to feel more like the optimism, the ability for growth and abundance to come back in. Really note if you notice like an increase in your energy on Thursday as Mars goes into Capricorn and you're feeling like, I can do this. Yes, I can. Yeah, I'm loving that. Yeah. Yeah, that earth. You're ready to manifest something. What is it?
I love that. Yeah. And I know people are like, there's two frames of thoughts too, because we're still in that winter, right? Like we're still in the winter time. Let's go. I'm distracted because
Mars conjunct your natal Neptune at 1 degrees of Capricorn. Michelle,
Okay,
what's
Michelle.
the dream? What actions are you taking to bring your dreams to life? Watch out for any internet scammers. Or scammers just in general.
Nadine, when we pin Marilyn's comment, because Marilyn's on YouTube and Nadine's on Facebook just for learning purposes. So Nadine, you can't see the comment that we pinned right now. It's a Marilyn comment from YouTube.
If you hit the thumbs up on these videos, yeah. Oh yeah, it helps us with our algorithm and reach. Yeah.
So I have that, but Nadine is saying that she's in Facebook.
You don't see the comment? Oh no, you'll see the comment on the screen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's saying she's not seeing it in Facebook. Yeah, you don't see it in Facebook, but Tiffany has the ability to highlight a specific comment. Oh, you want to highlight Danny's?
No, I don't. Thanks a lot, Danny, for coming to our party here. I'm just
okay, Danny. We see you. We see you in your comment. And Sagittarius, Mars is Sagittarius. Yes, it is. Inappropriate.
Oh gosh, yeah, you get one in every party.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I just want to wish people a happy new year. Really encourage you to get the calendar from and use my code ABC 2024 for a $10 discount, bringing the price. It's only $29. It gives you this wealth of incredible information throughout the year to help you learn more astrology, learn like accessories to astrology. Tiffany does so much in the health sphere about like all the cooking and all the herbs and all of that kind of stuff. You can like stay present and plan appropriately. Don't go on a trip or plan the trip of a lifetime while Mars is squaring Saturn. Come on. It's like you get the little umbrella to tell you this is not a good time to be doing that sort of thing, to be mindful that the energy is a little tense and constricted. You want to go when Venus and Jupiter are in a trine. Like it can help you when you have the ability to do some effective planning to have just a more joyful, abundant, easeful life. Yeah. And more with the calendar. And knowing when the moon changes signs. That helps you know when the moon is changing signs. Yeah, and you can set it. It goes in any time zone. It goes in any laptop or phone or any device. I have video tutorials on all of them. So really very user-friendly. You just download them. Like I download them to my Google Calendar so that I can toggle them on and off. I'm just practicing present one more time. So here's the first week of January. You can see some of my personal stuff on there, but you can also see like, yay, Mercury's direct in Sagittarius. Well, the calendar comes in 3 files: the planets, the moon, and then the moon void of course. And the reason I did it that way is because the moon void of course takes up a lot of real estate. So if you wanted to toggle any of these off or on, you could. And they are free events, meaning if you are synced up with any sort of scheduling software, you can schedule over it. So like my booking software is Acuity. And so this moon void of course doesn't block out a client time the way that we set it up. And I always like to tell people that after the data is run, so I work with another colleague to make sure we pull data from Solar Fire, and there's 2 or 3 of us that review the data that make sure that there aren't any little blips. Sometimes there are, sometimes there are. We pull directly from Solar Fire. And then I have a friend who is a monk that does the data transfer. And so I just love that the little group of people behind the scenes are just
praying over this information for you, hoping that it blesses you, hoping that you use it for yourself, not against yourself. This first week of January, we've already talked about a couple of the transits. I don't think we mentioned that Mars is
for Venus square. Oh, there. Oh, good.
Yeah, Venus square Saturn is here.
Beware of overcommitting with time, expenses, and people. I love that.
I like your list too. I liked your list. If you're feeling the heavy weight of responsibility, or that
I got a flash last night that maybe I should write a book about all the different combinations with what I was doing.
Yeah, please do. Gosh, that would be such an epic work. People would love that, Celeste.
Yeah, I think I might do something like that. I get all these ideas.
Okay. Another thing to point out is that the calendar, I think if you're brand new to astrology, this is great because it gives you the emoji and it gives you the vibe. However, one thing that maybe this is my 2025 thing that I do, but I feel like each of the planets, you start to feel in transit at a different stage of time. So you might feel Venus transits a couple of days in advance, but you might feel Jupiter transits a month in advance. So the outer planets you're going to feel coming on, just like if you play music, it's a really long crescendo up, for the outer planets. And if it's the inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, right? That it's going to be within a couple of days. And Mars likes to come in hot. You see, if you guys have watched Celeste and I work together, how do I stop my share? Stop screen. You can, it's like almost, I'm not trying to interrupt. It's like I go a little fast and Celeste's like, hang on, I'd like to talk about that, right? I have Mars in my first house. I just kind of like keep going, I get there fast. And that's the same way with Mars transits. You might notice that they come in a little hot, that they come in a little early. So if you are holding my feet to the fire, that Venus is square Saturn on January 1st at 7:25 a.m., and you're not going to feel it until that moment and only in that moment, you got to have a little space for grace with the transits and realize that it's like a washing effect that's coming on, has a peak, and then releases the day of the transit. And so I like to make sure everybody's as educated as possible. Marilyn got a fun fact for us that Marilyn, it's not rumored. Nancy did follow astrology, and she there's a lot of books from different perspectives on both her perspective and the other perspective on how astrology was used during his presidency. And I love that you pointed out that it was to not make any major moves during a moon void, of course,
planned meetings based on astrology to give him the best auspicious opportunity to have a successful outcome for himself and the U.S. Oh, someone had asked, which Facebook group are you going live on?
Mine is live, or should be. It is, because I see people on there.
Yeah, so, what is it? Someone was asking, what is it?
Hey, it's Tiffany. I can link it in there.
Yeah, link your Facebook page.
And Cinnamon, I see your comment that you bought your calendar. I saw your receipt this morning. It totally made my day. So thank you so much for being my first transaction of the day. Cinnamon, I know that sometimes our emails get crossed, and I need your birth data because I am gifting you a predictive report for being a valued member in 2023. And you're on my list of people that I don't quite have the data right on. So if you're still here, then, message me, email me your birth data. I want to make sure I have it right before I send you the predictive report. And for those of you that are new to my membership, what I'm talking about is I do an astrology class and a psychic development class, a psychic group reading, and the astrology development class every month. And you also get Tarot Friday. So you get tarot readings for your sign in your inbox every Friday. And you get 25% off sessions for a lifetime. And you get some other perks and codes that are in there throughout the year. But this next class that I'm teaching for the membership in January is about asteroids. So I'm really excited because this is a topic that we haven't covered on my channel yet. And my computer is on top of Demetra's book. So if you're wanting to study asteroids with us in the membership, Asteroid Goddesses is, I think this was the second version she did. But Demetra George is, she is the lady who is kind of the historian of the asteroids in the astrology community. She's got a lot of videos online you can check out. But that's what's coming up next in the membership. And I'm teaching a beginner's astrology class at Lisa Williams School, January 10th through 31st. Hope you guys can make that. If you're brand new, it's a great starting place. And Celeste, what are you teaching next? What are you doing?
So I'm going to be teaching Astrology and Foundations Level 2 or 201. So it's going to build on, so people who already know the basics of the houses, the planets, and all of that stuff can come join me for that class. I haven't announced it yet, but it's going to be starting later in the month. I got to get it together. And I do my monthly new moon workshops. So you can go to astrologybyceleste.com and sign up for that. You can come for just one, or you can sign up for the whole year for a discount or back support. Yes. So those are great interactive, and I do hot take natal chart readings about the moon cycles for you. And listen to the Celestial Insights podcast, available wherever you listen to podcasts, where I talk about the astrology of the upcoming week to help you surf the energies of the week like a boss. And I love to bring in mundane astrology, the astrology of current events, like I was talking about in the beginning about Jeffrey Epstein and the Mercury direct. This Mercury retrograde, I think, is about him this cycle in terms of the collective energy, the mundane.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that reminded me, like that, the mundane astrology piece. You know, I've been watching all of the Netflix and all of the shows I can find on cults lately, and I'm like, what is the deal with that? And so I started thinking about it in terms of the astrology, right? And like, why is that such a popular, like, it's not just me, it's just like that there's a lot of them on right now. And so as we are looking at 2024, how does that match up with the astrology? I mean, I'm not trying to force it, but I just thought, okay, how interesting that we're going to be having Jupiter move into Gemini in May, end of May, and that Celeste's word of the year is discernment, right? So discerning, like I watched Mother God last night. Have you seen that one?
No, but I love the one about the cult. It was in was it Washington State, or there's a great documentary on Netflix called something Wild Country or something.
Yeah, like Wild Country. Yeah, Wild Country. Yeah.
That was so good.
I know, right? I know. And then there's just a ton.
Oh, and the woman Gwen, who's like the diet lady.
Yeah.
What was that one called?
Yeah. I can't think of any of the names, but I can see her blonde face right now. I started watching. I don't know. I'm losing them all. My battery was at 100, and now it's at dwindling. So I'm nervous.
Gwen Shamblin, who preached a pathway as weight loss as a path to salvation. There's a documentary on what do you call it, on HBO Max.
There's one.
Why did they change their name?
There's one on Krishna Guru and something else, and that one's really disturbing because I've been to that place in India. And I'm very like that one. I don't have the right subscription for, but I started thinking like, why all of these all of a sudden? Because a lot of them are like 70s, 80s, you know, Waco. Like there's a lot of them that aren't like popping right now. We're just documenting them right now. So I was thinking about Jupiter into Gemini. I was thinking about
Saturn and Neptune and Pisces.
Yeah, I was thinking about Saturn and Pisces for sure. Like, who are you? Who are you making God? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's heartbreaking, and it's nuts, and it's there's a chemistry, and there's a ton of resources for people if you're trying to get out of a cult or a belief system that is no longer serving you. You know, our hearts go out to you, and I know that you can find your way there. But the interest and the intrigue, I think, is going to continue to go on. I was also thinking about Pluto and Aquarius, groups of people, you know, having this dark underbelly thing going on that is being unearthed and exposed. So there are so many of those that I've never even heard of, right? Like, I'm like, how many more are out there that aren't getting documented?
Oh, tons.
So
yeah. It's a perfect thing to talk about with, because Mars square Neptune is still active in the sky. Like
yeah.
people, yeah. So yeah, people who have this. Yeah, and Mercury is squaring Neptune. Yeah, have the ability, mind to like cast a spell over people's minds and actions, and yeah. So the way down is the. Thank you, Marilyn. The way down is the Gwen Shamblin. Will you highlight Marilyn's quote about what I do on Instagram? Thank you, Marilyn.
Oh, which one?
The one, yeah, that one.
Yeah, Marilyn's like our girl today.
Marilyn, thank you for being our hype woman. She's our Leo moon today, telling everybody about all the great things that we do. The moon is in Leo.
She's saying that twin flames is a crazy one too. I can't go there yet. Like that one like pisses me. It's very triggering. Just like listening to them talk, I'm like, how did this even occur?
Where's twin flames?
Twin Flames, you can find it. I think it is a Netflix one. It's like this site, right, that people would go to discover their true twin flame, and it turns out, you know, the people are pretty corrupt behind it, and it's very culty and interesting and fascinating. But for some reason, that one really made me mad, so I haven't watched that one yet. Marilyn is. Go ahead.
On Showtime, the Waco.
Yeah.
There's a Waco. It's a dramatization. It's not a documentary, and it stars Michael Shannon, I think.
Okay.
It's really good about what went on in Waco. I didn't know half the story.
That one was good. I was really shocked when I saw that one. And, you know, I grew up close to Waco, so I had a lot of the stories going on, but Source Family, Shiny Happy People, Holy Hell, Heaven's Gate. What's the Leah Remini one with?
Scientology.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. The Scientology stuff.
Yeah, that is wild. And I do know people that are personally affected by that who have children that they can't access, that, you know, they have really gone the way of Scientology. So very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Isn't that yeah.
So it's Waco, a 6-part TV event, and I think it's on Showtime, but it is on Showtime. It stars Michael Shannon, Taylor Kirsch, and John Leguizamo. It's really, really good about Waco. That David Koresh's cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The People's Temple. I started watching the Jonestown one last night, and I fell asleep.
Jonestown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's tragic. My God. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. We still have that statement.
We do.
That comes from Jonestown.
Yeah, with cyanide in the Kool-Aid, right? Like, what a disturbing thing.
It's crazy. Yeah, I'm not. Well, I have a story to tell you after this. I
got to go look up all of these dates in astrology land and figure out what was going on in the skies, because this is, I mean, you are right. It is Mars Neptune square. Marilyn did her high school paper on Jonestown. How interesting.
Wow. Yeah, really fascinating. So many aspects to that. This would be a good time to bring out a new movie about Jonestown, or a TV series like on HBO. I would love that.
Let's inform. Could we have like an astrology club that informs entertainment?
Yes, there should be. Yeah. Oh, you know what is a great? It's not a cult. but it's in line with what we're talking about. It's called May December. It's on Netflix. It's a retelling, a dramatization, or loosely based on Mary Kay Letourneau, the school teacher who had affairs with her student, like who was in 6th grade. So she was this woman who was married and had 4 kids. She was a teacher, and she took up with her 6th grader, 7th grader, and had children by and went to jail and all this kind of stuff. They did a really good job with this and it stars Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman on
So
Netflix.
disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that's disturbing in the collective consciousness, that's why I'm thinking Pluto, Aquarius, and what more will be revealed in the coming year, right? It's so anybody watching, just
Bacon. Oh, it's a good show about cult. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
I'll have to check that one out. Will you guys just let me know in the comments how my volume is? I know that Celeste feels like it's good on her end. I want to make sure I'm not screaming because I feel like sometimes it gets a little hot, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me to figure out StreamYard. I think this is great. Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do it. This is fun.
This is fun.
Just chatting about whatever.
Just some astrology, astro hang. Okay, thank you, Barbie.
Oh, can we pull a card for people?
You can't. Yes, I'm gonna go get my plug because my computer is gonna die. So you get your cards. I'm gonna get my plug. Be right back.
I want to pull a card for people. Something to think about the current energies. There's a lot of great energy for introspecting as we wrap up this Mercury retrograde cycle. With Mercury going direct at 22 Sagittarius, I want you to think about what needs to be healed within yourself. Ra's al Ghul, the fixed star that Mercury's stationing on, it has to do with healing. It also is the snake charmer. Mm-hmm. That's why we're talking about all these cults. Mercury's on Ra's al Ghul.
Do you know that so here in Texas, we have an event called the Rattlesnake Roundup.
Oh,
and it happens usually in March. It's not particularly kind, but it is an event that helps. Like they gather a bunch of snakes and get snake venom for pharmaceuticals, but it's also very country, which is part of my heritage and part of my style and part of my vibe. But when I was 16, I was part of the Rattlesnake Roundup pageant. So you're talking about this snake star and talking about all that Scorpio serpent energy. I think it's a fun fact, a Tiffany history fact.
I love that. So the card I pulled from Earth and Bone Oracle by Syrian Shadow. This is a wonderful oracle deck, and it helps to illuminate the shadows. 25, Burrow, exhaustion, questioning motivations, realignment. So that's the work to be doing now. Really do a body scan. Are you really tired? Do you just need rest and to burrow literally in your bed? But this is a great time to question your motivations, like those subconscious things that are driving you to do what you do, and do some realignment. Mm-hmm. Let me read the affirmation. Yeah. The affirmation is, I do not give consent to the consumption of my energy. I call back all my energy that serves my greater good. So also about protecting your own energy. Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
your soul has had a growth spurt. Tremendous change and transformation are upon you and within you, your inner knowing, regardless of whether you're conscious or subconscious of the change. You may be tired because your soul is trying to match your vibration to the new reality. It's trying to align you with who you are at a deeper soul level. This is what, Mercury retrogrades can do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Open yourself up to practice vulnerability. Practice meditation so that you may commune and meet with your true self in order to see what you truly desire. Do not push shame aside. Embrace the feelings that may be uncomfortable and do whatever it is your soul begs you to pursue.
Amazing.
So realignment, yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of goes in the line with our 111 new moon and Mars moving into Capricorn next week. What practical action steps are you taking forward? I'm going to echo you with this card. It's from the Astral Realms deck, Astral Realms. I bought it in Lilydale this summer, and I pulled the transition card, which is number 13 for all of us. And so this is calcite in the moon, and it's about cycles, shifting, and recharging. So it says a spiritual transition is a wake-up call from your higher self, urging you to evolve and blossom from what you are to what you will become. So you might feel the need to become deeply connected to your inner self and understand your emotions. You might feel a shift in your priorities or your beliefs. You might feel a call to trust your intuitive self and receive messages from your guides. And you might feel or experience some major life changes that have prevented you, it says, from transitioning in a new direction. That might be coming up for review. So it says to take some lessons from the moon, how she waxes and wanes, and her feminine energies, to invoke intuition and impart wisdom during every 28-day lunar cycle. Each phase of the moon, of course, it goes into the vibrational frequency of each of those. And the activation guidance is perfect. It's a perfect promo piece to follow Celeste's Instagram and to get her moon memos. It says, begin to study each cycle or phase of the moon and journal how each phase makes you feel mentally, emotionally, energetically, and physically. After enough cycles, you'll begin to see a pattern and learn the best times to take action during your spiritual transition. The mantra is, I accept the ebb and flow of my spiritual transition. So calcite for anybody wanting to play crystal bag today.
I love that. Yeah. Well, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
So now what you can do is end the live stream. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you guys. This is so helpful. Yeah. Really appreciate you. Yeah. So here we go. Adios. Namaste.
End the live stream.